Silverware is on the line in Gosford this afternoon. Melbourne City can claim the Premier's plate for what would be an unprecedented third straight season. City confirmed their first premiership with a 1-0 win over Central Coast just shy of 2 years ago. They lifted the trophy in front of home fans on that occasion, but they won't have that opportunity to get their hands on the plate today. It'll be kept under wraps until the final day, and the Mariners will be hoping that they can keep any celebrations on ice. The home side chasing an 8th game unbeaten in Gosford, and they can all but lock up a home semi-final and also keep pressure on Adelaide in second spot with 3 points. And Nick Montgomery has a full complement at his disposal. He can name a full-strength squad for a second straight game. James McGarry keeps Jacob Farrell out of the starting side again. There's one new face on the bench. 17-year-old sub-keeper Anthony Pavlicic has been touted as the next Matty Ryan, and he is the substitute goalkeeper because of injury to Yaron Souza. The man standing in the way of a start for the 17-year-old is 21 years his senior. Danny Vukovic is one clean sheet away from equalling Liam Reddy's record of 90 in the A-League. Vukovic and Reddy were teammates at Parramatta Power in the NSL long before Pavlicic was even thought of. And he is the captain again for the Central Coast Mariners. 99 domestic clean sheets for Danny Vukovic. Melbourne City, 5 games unbeaten and has one hand on the Premier's plate, unchanged from the 4-1 demolition of Wellington. Matt Leckie and Richard van der Ven remain sidelined. Jamie McLaren playing game number 200 in the A-League with all sorts of goal-scoring records in his sights. It's all to play for at Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. The Central Coast Mariners get us underway, and the man who holds the Golden Boot record for the Central Coast with 17 in a regular season, 19 including the finals, is alongside me, Daniel McBreen. Looking forward to the battle of the strikers this afternoon, Macca. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Glenn, and all our viewers out there. Yeah, it's a tantalising match, this one, isn't it? First v third. The Mariners still looking to try and take that second place position and wanting to spoil the party.
Here's an opportunity early. Benny Nkololo goes to the byline. Marco Tullio was ghosting. Sammy Silvera's there. Deflected. Ends up with Max Ballard. And Melbourne City will see the offside flag save them. A huge shot across the bow for the Mariners, a warning sign.
Yeah, well, I think it was offside on the original ball through on that far left-hand side, but see here, Nkololo just going a little too early, but nice run with the Melbourne City defence high and square. As you say, Glenn, a warning shot. Said they were here to ruin the party. Well, they've certainly woken them up.
Nkololo on the left side, dinks one in. Headed clear, only as far as Rue. Good defending though, scrambled by Tullio, and now a long-range strike from Brian Kaltak has Tom Glover at full stretch. How does that miss?
Well, he's the most unlikeliest of scorers. Just picked up the ball in a real advanced position, had a look around and said, well, if you're not going to put the pressure on me, wow, I'll have a crack. And it wasn't far off, and Thomas Glover was scrambling and hoping that that was going wide.
Oh, almost given away. Danny Vukovic has to be quick, and nice touch from Vukovic to get it away from Valon Berisha, because that could have been embarrassing for the Mariners. They try to turn defence into attack, and Nkololo maintains possession. Another dangerous ball towards the edge of the area. It's left for Silvera, but it doesn't quite make it to the right winger. Still the Mariners maintain possession. Rue's ball is dealt with, and City can try to take a breather. The Central Coast Mariners will win a throw.
Let's have a look at this again from Danny Vukovic. It was probably a little bit of a heavy touch here, and look at the little hip swivel. Casual as you like, gets himself out of trouble. That's the 21 years of experience you were talking about.
Berenguer with plenty of space. He has McLaren on the left. He opts to go right. Valon Berisha, turn and shot. Straight at Danny Vukovic. Great opportunity for City.
Well, it seems to be end-to-end, doesn't it? Take a breath, Glenn. Another good attacking move, and Berenguer had options to the right and to left. This time chose the right. James McGarry maybe done just enough and got back, forcing Berisha to turn out.
Yeah, Roo puts Nisbet through, back to Storm Roo and Kololo as well. And now Storm Roo, but Melbourne City scramble in defence and get it away for a corner. Huge opportunity for the Mariners as Storm Roo released Josh Nisbet down the right.
Well, Josh Nisbet in a great position there, wasn't it? And as he comes across and looks for the ball back, the Mariners rather get in each other's way. It's Nkololo and Roo. And just there, as Roo tries to dig it out to Tulio, probably a little unselfish. If he takes a touch and just pokes it towards goal, he may have had an opportunity to get a strike away just there. Instead, chose to play to Tulio, and it was cleared away at the last moment.
Nisbet's switch is a good one for McGarry. Here's Cummings. Can he turn? City do well to push him away from goal, and now Silvera can't get his shot on target, just snapped at that one a little, and Tom Glover comfortably watched it go past the post.
But he's not happy, is he? He's berating his players, saying there shouldn't be any time there to get a strike away right on the edge of the box. See City players standing and watching, really.
Jamie McLaren sees Talbot bombing on. Talbot has McGarry in front of him, tries to step over. Nkololo comes back in support. Now the ball in for McLaren at point-blank range. It's a wonderful save from Danny Vukovic to deny the Golden Boot elect.
Well, great football all around here. Look at this ball in. Fantastic ball. And Jamie McLaren, the Golden Boot elect, all alone with a free header. But Danny Vukovic, with all his experience, reacts wonderfully well.
You can just sense how much 3 points means to both of these sides this afternoon, can't you, Macca?
Well, you think about the Mariners, they're still looking at second place. If they can win today, they've got an F3 derby next week, and then they've got Adelaide in the final round. So they will definitely think that it's a doable job. Melbourne City's silverware is on the cards for them today.
Here's an opportunity for them. Andrew in a boot. Danny Vukovic again comes up big. Kaltak gets it away, and the Mariners scramble in defence again. Benny Nkololo with it, but what a save from Vukovic. 3 in the last 5 or so minutes for the Mariners custodian and captain.
Well, he's definitely the busiest of the two keepers at the moment. And he's calling on all those years of experience. Again, another good save. One maybe that you'd expect him to save, hit at him, but the pressure is mounting from Melbourne City.
The Mariners need to keep winning to put themselves in the hunt for that second spot. Josh Nisbet has it at the byline. Berenguer stands up. Nisbet maintains possession. His midfield partner Ballard, but Nkololo, what a save. Tom Glover one-handed down to the left. Gives away the corner but denies Nkololo.
Well, that's a great save down to the left from Tom Glover. It was a well-worked move from the Mariners. Jason Cummings just saying, how did you get down to that? As it comes back here, James McGarry just plays it into Nkololo, and on the turn, that's going in the bottom corner. And he gets well to get down there on fingertip stretch. Tom Glover palms it away for a corner, and Nkololo can't believe it.
Kaltak under pressure from Berisha. He didn't want to go back to Vukovic there because McLaren was lurking, and he does well for Triantis and Roo. Heavy challenge with the advantage waved on by Alireza Fagani. The flag goes up for offside, goes down again though. Nkololo, it was for a collision as Tulio! Marco Tulio will ask the question. The linesman's flag went up, it went back down. Tulio finds the back of the net, but it won't count.
Well, I'm sure VAR will have a look at this one, but you're right, Glenn. The flag went up, it went back down again. Play went on, and Marco Tulio has put the ball in the back of the net in some fashion. I think the referee's assistant was saying that Tulio would come. Oof, is he on? It looks like, oh, that could be tight.
Just Curtis could keep him on.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tight call.
Well, Alireza Fagani indicates...
Well, I think he's saying that the play hadn't stopped and we need to let it flow, and then we'll come back to VAR. So this will be
it's a wonderful strike.
Well, it's a fantastic finish if it's given. But we'll have to wait and see. But even if VAR turns around and says this is not offside, Melbourne City will complain that they stopped because the flag went up. Yes, you should play to the whistle, but the referee's assistant told let the play unfold. But I think he was just in an offside position, yep, and VAR has confirmed it. So all of those misunderstandings can go and be washed away. You can see there, yep.
Well, according to the blue and red lines, video assistant referee Sean Evans got it right. And Ali Reza Fagani brings a halt to proceedings. And what's been a fascinating opening 45 minutes in Gosford, it could have ended with a goal to Marco Tullio, if not for the offside flag. But what an unbelievable half of football, fitting for the two sides in first and third place on the Isuzu UTE A-League men's ladder. Chances at both ends, but at half-time, it's the Central Coast Mariners 0, Melbourne City 0. As Melbourne City get us underway, the Mariners in their charity pink kits in Gosford this evening. And from the kickoff, City fine touch. Daniel McBreen, it was an enthralling first 45 minutes. We can only hope it's similar for the next 45.
Yeah, exactly, Glenn. As far as 0-0s go, it's been an entertaining match, and we could have easily had a few goals if it was not for the great goalkeeping from both ends.
Curtis Good with a misplaced header. Thankfully for City, Tullio had to go wide. Silvera's there now for the Mariners, and Curtis Good gets across, try to shepherd him towards the touchline, but Silvera gets to the byline. Cummings at the back post, and Jason Cummings forces a wonderful save from Tom Glover. Similar to what we saw in the first half from Jamie McLaren and Danny Vukovic.
Well, there's been a lot of talk today about Cummings against McLaren, the title race. Well, they're both putting on a show, but the two who are stealing the show is the goalkeepers, Danny Vukovic and Thomas Glover. Another fantastic reaction save. Okay, it's at him almost like Vukovic's, but he has to react quickly.
Brian Kaltak keeps it in play, and Jason Cummings comes again. Cummings onto the left boot. Great defending again. Melbourne City players were scrambling. And Curtis Good stays down. He's in a lot of pain. Jason Cummings with two big chances to start this second half.
Well, what about Brian Kaltak there to keep the play alive? One moment it looked like it could have been going the other end, and as the ball fell from Nisbet wide, Kaltak keeps it alive, and then it's the dangerous Jason Cummings. And as Curtis Good goes in for the block, and here, does he catch his feet in the turf, or is it, oh yeah, just underneath him, is it there as he goes down?
He lands and then twists, doesn't he, on that left knee. So it's had it all tonight. That's something that I'll put in the list of things we haven't seen in the A-League. Jason Cummings, is he onside? He has space in the right channel. City recover. Cummings goes away from goal. Max Ballard, and it's a good save again by Glover. Recovers. Does he bring in Kololo down? Ali Reza Fagani says no. It's a free kick. The flag stayed down, but Ali Reza Fagani has seen an impediment from the Mariners on the way through.
I think he said that Kololo has fouled Tom Glover here, but as the ball fell to Jason Cummings, we all wondered if he was in an onside position. The ball comes back to Ballard, who looks to steer it into that bottom corner. And we'll have to see here on the replay. I don't see where there's a foul there.
Andrew Naboot finds himself a long way forward. The flag stayed down on that occasion. And on they go.
Well, he looked, on first viewing, a mile offside, didn't he? Yeah, that's what Danny Vukovic is saying. He might be proven wrong by a replay if we get one, but he looked to be very early in his movement forward.
He's quick, but is he that quick? Andrew Naboot. Space for Berenguer. Boss on his own on the left side. Rue has to recover, but he can't recover quick enough. Geordie Boss has been outstanding for Melbourne City this season, and he has his second goal of the campaign. And could that be the goal that gives Melbourne City their third straight Premier's plate? Danny Vukovic will complain, but the complaints won't mean anything. Melbourne City lead 1-0.
Well, that's a finish reminiscent of his finish earlier in the season. And this is on the Harvey Norman replay. This is we saw Danny Vukovic complaining about the offside, but he's not. He's in his own half there, and as a player, keeping him onside, and it was lovely play from Berenguer. He likes to drift into these pockets. There was plenty of space for Geordie Boss. And just like earlier in the season against Perth, he comes inside onto his right foot and tucks it into that far top corner. Lovely play from Geordie Boss. And we've had plenty of heroics from Danny Vukovic tonight, but he could do nothing on that one.
Nisbet heads wide for Caltac. Jason Cummings. It's away from Raish, but can't keep possession. Now Nisbet. Josh Nisbet still going. Josh Nisbet with the outside of the boot. Tom Glover's wrong-footed. It may have got a deflection. The Mariners don't care. They're back on level terms. And 2 goals in 3 games isn't for Josh Nisbet. We'll wait and see on the replay. But whoever it goes down against, it means the Mariners are back on level terms. It's 1-1.
Well, all the talk before the game was Cummings v McLaren, and it's been 2 players who don't score very often at all. And on the Harvey Norman replay, as Josh Nisbet picked up the ball, there's plenty of work to do, but it just opened up in front of him, and it's a wicked deflection off Nuno Raish that takes it past Tom Glover. And you see here, Berenguer, non-existent in defence. Tilio's trying to get back, and as Glover goes to his right, it hits the back of Nuno Raish and deflects into the goal, and the Mariners are back in it.
They're 3 behind the Reds as Caltac comes forward into the area. Brian Caltac cuts back for Maresh, who had to reach for it. Still Maresh, and Tom Glover dives to his right. He went the right way early, Glover, and the Mariners so close to going ahead.
Well, it was a great run from Brian Caltac, and he just hits this pass here with a little bit too much for Maresh, who's on the stretch. And as the rebound comes back, he can't get enough power, really, to get it past Tom Glover.
Aidan O'Neill for Melbourne City. He has McLaren on his left, Naboot in the middle, Andrew Naboot. Danny Vukovic comes up big, still with Aidan O'Neill. And now McLaren again towards the back post. Naboot can't control, and it goes out for a goal kick. Another huge save by Danny Vukovic, and another huge opportunity lost for Andrew Naboot.
Well, it was a great run from Andrew Naboot through the middle. Once again, like a brick wall, Danny Vukovic stood strong.
Space for Berisha, back for Aidan O'Neill. Brilliant defending from Triantis again for the Mariners.
He's had an absolutely outstanding game, hasn't he, Nectar Triantis? He's been one of the best on the park.
What a game of football this has been. Valor Berisha! Danny Vukovic can see that one just over the bar, screaming at his defenders. Wow, what a game of football.
Well, if you thought either of these teams were going to sit back and just say, let's take a point, you were wrong. This is what we like to see.
Here's Geordie Boss on the right-hand side of the field now. Can cut back on the left. That's where he's dangerous. Still going Geordie Boss, and Geordie Boss forces a wonderful save from Danny Vukovic, one-handed, but it's another set piece for Melbourne City.
Well, what a performance from that man, Danny Vukovic. Geordie Boss found himself with some space, and that's a fierce strike. And again, Vukovic positions himself well.
Harry Steele and Nisbet under pressure. Triantis takes the touch. Does really well. And now is Harry Steele's ball going to find Tullio at will. Marco Tullio comes off the apex of the post, but it crossed the byline. I think everyone stopped because they'd assumed it had gone out of play, but it almost curled back in.
Well, looks like it may curl out and come back in, but this is knowing where your goal is for Tom Glover. He just lets it hit against the post.
And now a huge chance for Jamie McLaren. He goes to ground, he gets back up on his feet, and Danny Vukovic is there again. It's another great save by the Mariners captain to deny Jamie McLaren, the A-League's leading goal scorer, once again in the dying embers of an epic.
Well, look at Jamie McLaren in the space he's got here. It's Kaltak with the initial challenge, but then he finds himself space again, looks to tuck it in the far corner, but Danny Vukovic, take a bow. His performance tonight, and look, Jamie McLaren cannot believe it.
Is this the final play? Valon Berisha with an outswinging corner for Melbourne City towards the front post. It's dealt with by the Mariners. Anywhere will do. Triantis ends up with it. And Ali Reza Fagani says that will do in Gosford. What an incredible game of A-League football we've had tonight between the top of the table Melbourne City and the third place Central Coast Mariners. It was Geordie Boss's goal just after half-time that gave Melbourne City the lead. And then Josh Nisbet's shot on target deflected into the back of the net from Nuno Reis. Smiles all round between Danny Vukovic and Scott Jamieson. Melbourne City's wait for the Premier's plate will go on. They will have to sit back and watch on as Adelaide United try to keep it alive tomorrow afternoon against Western United. It has been an absolute thriller in Gosford. The Central Coast have put themselves within a win of Adelaide in second place as well. So that game tomorrow will have huge ramifications for both sides. But after an epic 95 minutes in Gosford, it's finished. The Central Coast Mariners won. Melbourne City won.